1-209-4389. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's going on? Today is Thursday. It is September 8th. It is the official kickoff of the NFL season, and we are 2 hours and change from the Bills and the Rams, which maybe you guys can tell me what you think. I'm not sure I quite get it. Why are the Buffalo Bills, who are the NFL favorite to win the Super Bowl this year in Vegas, why are they 2.5-point favorites on opening night against the defending Super Bowl champions who won the Super Bowl in their building and are hosting the opening night in their building? Why are the Bills favored? And if you guys were going to place a wager, which, by the way, you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our promo code GreatFriends, why are the Bills favored, and which way you guys going in this game?
The Bills are favored because they pretty much brought everybody back. Whereas the Rams, there was some turnover. There was concerns about Matthew Stafford's elbow. The defense had a major turnover. Von Miller is now on the Bills, and Von Miller was a key contributor to that defense last year. The Rams have no running game whatsoever. So I could see why Vegas would give it to the Bills. And if I was going to bet money tonight, I would also bet on the Bills.
Why do you mean the Rams don't have any running game? Here's the thing about that.
Cam Akers is hurt. Darrell Henderson is hurt. And even if either of them are healthy, neither of them are very good.
Well,
and they don't ever try to run the ball too much because Sean McVay is allergic to running.
Yeah, I just, the thing about, like, they don't have a running game, it's like, yo, did anybody play in the preseason? Like, it's game one. We don't really know what they have.
Right, and both running backs missed time during training camp already without playing a single preseason
But Cam
game.
Akers is good to go tonight, right? I mean, that's been the report.
Sure, but, like, what is good to go for Cam Akers even look like? He's been hurt his entire career.
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out tonight. Guess we're going to take a look.
The Bills have like 5 running backs. They drafted Dalvin Cook's brother to just in case the 2 guys they already got aren't ready to go. Stephon Diggs is legit. Dawson Knox just got paid. Josh Allen is the MVP favorite. I think the Bills are a legit contender, and the Rams won't repeat because no one repeats.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm taking the Rams to win the game outright tonight. So if I were going to bet this game on, listen, if I were a gambler, which I'm trying to learn more about football wagering because I think everybody's getting into it, especially if it becomes legalized, later in November.
As it should in September.
September. I thought it's in November.
November. I'm sorry. November.
Whatever month it is. I mean, you confuse me. That's all. If and when it gets legalized, I mean, I know a lot of young people are going to be all of a sudden that much more into gambling. So,
oh my God, dude.
What?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy. I was making bets on my phone. I wasn't even in a sports book. I was making bets on my phone. It's so easy. And when it's in California, I'm all in. I'm pulling all my crypto, the 2 cents I have left.
Yeah.
And I'm investing it in sports gambling.
Well,
yeah, dude.
That's just it. Is like, I know that particularly in the sports radio, sports podcasting world that we live in, I know that in the next few years, presuming that gambling is going to become legalized in California, that like my son who's 22, he loves that stuff. And it worries me a little bit as a parent. Like, come on, you're 22. You don't have any money really. It's probably money I gave you, and it's like, and
so you're also betting.
Yeah. But you see, but he's actually teaching me, and so I want to get into it. So again, tonight, here's my thought. If I were betting tonight on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and again, download it and use our promo code GreatFriends. If I were betting tonight, I would be betting the Rams to win the game. So I'd be betting the Rams to cover the 2.5, and I think the Rams are going to win.
I don't think I think you are too close to the Rams.
How close am I?
Yo, you've been to their Super Bowl draft party.
Yeah.
Don't act like you ain't never been around the team.
No, I have, but like I didn't go to training camp this year.
You've been to the trophy. You was with the trophy.
Looking sharp too with that trophy.
So what I'm saying to you is
about sports gambling too, Scott. Though, is not just the spread. It's I love it.
I'm an over-under guy.
I'm an over-under guy too. Like Sunday, Dodgers, Padres. I was like, I'm pretty sure Dodgers are going to win, but for sure that over is going to hit. There's no way they're not going to score more than 9 runs. The Dodgers do that by themselves. So, yeah, today I would see that 52, And I'm like, yeah, under, because it's week 1 and the offenses aren't clicking yet. That's the way I would bet tonight's game. I wouldn't touch the spread.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't be
touch the
surprised
spread.
if the Rams win.
No, I think the Rams are going to win.
I think the Bills are going to crush them. I think the Bills are
Really?
going to crush them.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. That's an opinion that a lot of people share, by the way.
Let's be careful with Browner and the Rams takes, because he said they were going to finish last in the NFC West last year.
That's
so
true.
Let's be careful with the.
But
I did
Browner
say that.
also
Bias. Wrong.
So it's like we got both ends of the spectrum.
Mhm.
Scott thinks they're amazing. Browner thinks they're crappy. Somewhere in the middle.
I don't know if they're amazing. I feel like here's why I'm taking the Rams. I know I saw a statistic that Sean McVay in season openers is 5-0. And I want to say that the Rams last year were 7-1 against the spread. So again, this is all sort of new statistical gambling info to me. But the numbers say one thing, but for me, I'm playing the emotion side here. So you're at home, you're opening up the season, you're unfurling your Super Bowl championship banner.
Yeah.
You have everybody home and fresh. Everybody's nobody's gotten beat up in the preseason in that they didn't play games. You talked about the running backs and some guys that are just dinged up a little bit there, but they're home, the Rams. The Bills got to come cross country in the middle of the week. It's going to be very steamy inside that building because remember, the building has a roof, but it's not really like enclosed. So it's not air conditioned per se. I just feel like everything points to the Rams winning the game other than the national media hyping the Bills. So I feel like all the bettors are putting their money on the Bills based on the hype. And I feel like what they call, quote unquote, the smart money is on the other side on the Rams. I'm taking the Rams to cover, and I think the Rams win the game. Apparently, I'm alone here.
Yeah, you're on your own with that, buddy.
Okay.
I think the Bills offensively, the Bills offensively present a very different challenge because Josh Allen's ability to run, their solid running game, like Alex talked about before, and their skill positions. Like they have everything. And I mean everything. And it's early in the season. They've also got a ton of continuity, whether it be with the offensive line or with the skill positions. So that's why I like them coming into this game. The Rams also have to fit in somebody in their defense that's going to be new, but that should be a big part of the defense down the road. The guy they got from Seattle, whose name is escaping me at this point, but they've
Bobby Wagner?
Yes, they've got new pieces that they've added in that will need time to gel while the Bills' offense doesn't.
All right. Well,
Josh Allen has been waiting 8 months to get on the field since that coin flip didn't go his way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh Allen's going to throw for like 500 yards today. That's just what I think. I would, but what Scott, everything you're saying is right. That's also why I don't like him. There's going to be a lot of other stuff happening for the Rams, a celebration type feel, Ozzy Osbourne excitement, the Lombardi Trophy in the house. I just think I like the Bills, man.
All right.
I like Josh Allen. I like a healthy Josh Allen over a questionable Matt Stafford.
Mm-hmm. I saw something earlier today that Matt Stafford had an elbow procedure in the offseason. And I feel like it's the first time I've heard that since the start of training camp. Because when training camp began, it was, Matthew Stafford, his elbow, pitch count, all this kind of stuff. I never heard until today that he had a procedure.
Not only a procedure, the same procedure that Clayton Kershaw, his best friend, I don't know if you guys know this, they're friends. They grew up together. I don't know if you guys ever heard that story.
I've heard that story.
Okay, yeah. So they had the exact same procedure on their elbows. And I don't know if you guys heard this. They're friends, so they rehab together.
I did not hear that part.
Wow.
Yeah. That part I did not hear. So what was did they say what the procedure was called? Not that like I'm some doctor or I'm like, oh, he had that. Oh, that's bad. But I literally have never heard until today that there was any sort of surgical procedure done on the elbow. I don't know how they keep this stuff quiet and then how it winds up coming out at this late date.
Yeah, that's a really good job by the Rams to have that not come out at all. They were diagnosed with an ailment described as thrower's elbow that affected the tendon. Stafford rehabbed for a full 6 months to make his elbow strong enough.
Maybe that's what I have.
Kershaw.
Oh my God.
Maybe I have thrower's elbow.
They received a PRP injection.
Oh, maybe that's what I need. A PRP injection.
Oh my
and
God.
your Stafford got in his right flexor tendon.
Yes, flexor tendon.
Mm-hmm. It's a non-surgical procedure
Oh,
to heal the elbow. So an injection.
dude, let me tell you something. My right arm, from about 2 inches underneath my elbow to about 2 inches above my elbow, has been hurting for about, I'd say, 2 months. And I'm thinking to myself, am I going to live with this pain the rest of my life? Or am I ever going to go see a
Probably.
doctor? And then am I ever going to go see like a physical therapist? Am I ever going to go get this thing worked out? It hurts like a mofo. And I don't know if it's a tendon or it's a ligament. I just keep saying tendon and ligament because I think that sounds like really medical. But I'm telling you, man, I think I have thrower's elbow.
It's possible.
You know what people say to me? They're like, well, what'd you do? Get that injury doing what, kind of, And I'm no, I use my left hand for that. So it's not that. Yeah, lefty.
Lefty.
Yep.
Yeah,
interesting. Well, you should go get it checked out. Remember, I had that wrist thing. I had some weird person's disease on my wrist.
Yeah.
They injected me with steroids, and 3 weeks later, I was all good.
Really? You're all better, huh?
I think I had a PRP injection.
Really?
Into my wrist.
Interesting. All right. So look, football season is going to kick off, but I'll throw it to you guys this way. While I'm excited about tonight's kickoff of the football season, and we'll talk a lot about NFL related stuff because the weekend is awesome. I mean, it really is. And listen, I'll tell you guys, I'm excited about this Chargers Raiders game on Sunday.
That's
Can't
right.
wait to see the Raiders win that game.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
You heard me.
You mean you can't wait to see the Chargers finally take their place as first in the AFC West? That's what you're trying to say?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Listen, I think Kansas City, Arizona is an amazing game this weekend. I love the storylines of Cleveland at Carolina. I love the storyline of Denver at Seattle. I love Tom Brady and Tampa Bay against Dallas. I mean, I love this weekend of NFL football. But fellas,
the disrespect.
Oh, you mean because I didn't mention the Packers and the Vikings?
I mean, last year's MVP against this year's MVP. We keep saying it.
Yeah.
While y'all talk about that, the future's plan to kick the day off. So I don't really know what, Bears, 49ers, trade Lance.
See, that's the beautiful thing about week one, Scott, that you're talking about, and that I was just trying to make a point, is that everyone thinks they have a chance right now. Even though it's like, not going to happen for some teams, top left of the screen, they still think that right now, 0-0, it could happen, Well,
why don't we do this? I was gonna transition into the Padres from last night, but let's do this. Let's take a look at all the games that are going to be played this weekend, from starting tonight all the way through Monday night. You got the Bills and the Rams tonight. Everybody listening around Southern California knows what's going on here. I mentioned to you Carolina and Cleveland. Does that do anything for anybody here other than me?
Zero.
Really?
Zero.
You guys don't like the juiciness of Baker Mayfield leaves Cleveland. Now he's the starter in Carolina. Cleveland has to go to Carolina. You guys don't find that interesting?
No. Listen, Baker Mayfield didn't create that juice. Colin Cowherd made Baker Mayfield famous. And that's the only reason why he was ever relevant for a large portion after his first year.
Yeah, but Browner, he was the first overall pick, number one. And number two, in his second year, was it his second year or his third year? I think it was his second year.
I thought it was second year.
They went to Kansas City and were this close to beating the Chiefs and knocking them out of the playoffs.
Right. What he done?
I'll tell you that I have no interest in it, but I do hope that Baker goes. It's in Cleveland or in Carolina?
It's in Carolina.
It's in Carolina.
I hope that Baker really does kick their ass.
Come on,
because the Cleveland is a scummy organization who deserve nothing but terrible things to happen.
Wow, that really is painful. That hurts. That hurts right here. That hurts right here.
Like Baker was hurt last year
because he sucks.
He had a terrible season.
Oh, he was hurt because he sucks. Right.
Yeah.
He played through that injury to help his team, and they treated him like dog poop.
As they should have.
They got this sexual pervert.
What you doing? What you doing?
And gave him like a ridiculous contract
First of all,
that he does not deserve.
Allegedly.
So I think that Carolina definitely. I hope that they do it.
Allegedly.
But I know how good of a quarterback Baker Mayfield is, so he'll probably get sacked like 6 times by my.
Listen, the alleged crimes of their starting quarterback should be pronounced alleged, sir.
I
called him a sexual pervert. That's all I said.
Allegedly sexual pervert to you.
Well, no, he's a sexual pervert for sure. I mean,
allegedly.
he just well, I mean, it all happened.
Allegedly.
He's not saying allegedly. He's just saying that I didn't disrespect anybody.
That's right.
He's
not denying
he's saying right. He's not saying these things didn't happen. He's just saying I paid for him and I thought it was okay to pay for that.
Yeah. Just perfect.
So let me just tell you guys something, though. Like the Cleveland situation, of course, you guys know that I'm emotionally, personally invested in the Cleveland Browns, no matter how much this whole, Deshaun Watson thing is distasteful.
They
So,
got the best defensive player in the league.
well, they have one of the better defensive players in the league.
Yeah. We're spending too much
Y'all
time on
gonna
this
stop
game.
disrespecting Myles Garrett, man.
All right. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Like Mitchell Trubisky is
Nope.
now the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh, and he's taking on the
Nope.
defending AFC champions.
No, the Bengals, aren't they at the level now where like you expect them to win games now?
I think so.
And if
Nope.
and if they don't, you're like,
Right.
what happened there?
If Pittsburgh goes into Cincinnati and knocks them off in week 1 with a brand new starting quarterback and a lot of moving pieces, you'd be pretty surprised. But they still have a very good defense, Pittsburgh.
Right.
Indianapolis and Houston, that doesn't do that much for me, although Indianapolis is one of those teams that people definitely think are kind of on the they're on the watch list in the AFC. Like, could they shock the world? Browner, you're looking at me like that's not something that's been part of the national conversation.
I would put Pittsburgh on the shock the world list before I put the Colts, man. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the Colts. They will want to blame Carson Wentz because of the way their last game went of the season. Wait till Matt Ryan's doing the exact same thing, but worse.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily upgraded big time. I think they upgraded, but not to take them anywhere else.
No, but I think that
Right.
Frank Reich would rather have a Matt Ryan who's more in the Phillip Rivers class than a Carson Wentz who, I mean,
Yes.
anybody who knows football knows Carson Wentz has never been that good. Although some people I know used to say he was a top 5 quarterback, but I don't want to say anything about that.
Listen. I would rather have the upside as opposed to the choke side.
Okay. The Ravens are at the Jets. Now, this game is not
My
really
upset special.
Is it?
Yep.
Joe
Jets will
Flacco?
win.
Joe Flacco
Jets are
against
good.
his former team?
The Ravens got nobody except Lamar Jackson, dude. They got
That's
nobody.
all they need.
Well, and Lamar Jackson has now put them on notice, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, it's tomorrow. It's Friday, or don't talk to me about contract.
This is my upset special. I could be proven wrong, but if I was gonna give you guys one upset this week, it's the Jets to upset the Ravens.
I like that. That's a ballsy pick. Kansas City at Arizona. Now, doesn't that sound good? Because last night I was watching the final episode of Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions, and when the episode ended, they had Kyler Murray walking onto the practice field, reminding us that Hard Knocks regular season follows the Arizona Cardinals. I think I might be into that.
I really am into this game. I really am. What do the Chiefs look like without Tyreek Hill? Who's going to run the rock for him? What do the Cardinals look like without DeAndre Hopkins?
So I think
I think this is a very interesting game that is hopefully going to be in the 30s each team.
All right, Green Bay at your team, Alex, Minnesota, which I think is I'm taking Minnesota to win this game.
Me too. Like same as Lamar. Who's Aaron going to throw it to?
Well, we're going to find out
because Lazard is hurt already. His number 1 guy. So
New Orleans and Atlanta doesn't do a lot for me.
No,
Browner, I
love Peter King picked the Saints to be in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
Shout out to Jameis Winston, his explanations of the human body,
which was good. We'll get to that a little bit later on. San Francisco and Chicago. I mean, listen, I love this game. I really do.
Game of the week.
I love this game.
Browner, I'm rooting for you guys.
I'm rooting for me too.
I have a very close friend of mine who is just the biggest Trey Lance believer, and I just don't see it. God, I want the Niners to go 0-2 to start the season so bad.
You mentioned Peter King. Peter King says that by week 6, Jimmy Garoppolo will be the starting quarterback of the Niners.
I honestly believe the Bears defense under Luke Getsy is going to confuse Trey Lance, and I think that's why he's going to struggle. Not because he's not good.
Defense is being led by Luke Getsy.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Getsy is the defensive coordinator of the Browns, or of the Bears, rather.
Hold on, let me double check.
I don't think so, man. I think he's the offensive coordinator. Because Luke Getsy was
your head coach, the defensive coordinator.
That's what it is. Yes, my bad.
Because Luke Getsy was a.
I don't even know his own team, man.
I know. All right,
come on.
Listen, I'm just going to hustle this up here for a second. We'll talk more about it. Philadelphia against Detroit. I'm a Detroit fan after Hard Knocks. New England at Miami. I'm rooting for Tua.
I really like that game. Really like that game.
Jacksonville at Washington does nothing for me.
No,
that's the game that Red Zone will ignore.
Yeah. Raiders at Chargers, cannot wait for that game. Love that game. Giants and Titans don't get that game. That's like Jacksonville, Washington, bad game. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday night, you got Tom Brady against Dak Prescott, Buccaneers versus Cowboys, which I'm into. Browner thinks is disgusting because he doesn't like the Cowboys. And the Broncos on the road at the Seahawks to finish it off on Monday night, where Russell Wilson makes his Denver debut in Seattle. So what a weekend of NFL football games. This is going to be awesome.
Man,
I wonder
wouldn't it
how
be so
low
Chargers
the
if they
second
just
half
blow it?
ratings will be for that game.
We'll find out. God, it would be so Chargers if they lost to the Raiders on opening week. And if Devontae Adams had like a monster game with that new secondary and that new pass rush, God, that'd be great.
Because they don't have their star corner.
Yeah.
The Chargers already.
Hey, before we hit this break, quick time out here, and I want to just send some love to our people of Mazda of Escondido and MazdaofEscondido.com. Literally this morning, I was on the phone. I had Alan, the general manager, and I had Louie, I'm not going to say last names, but one of our great friends, listeners, and I had the two of them on a text message because Louie needs a new car. Alan sells lots of new Mazdas. Alan has lots of new Mazdas. So for all these car dealerships that you drive by and you're like, where are all the cars? They don't have them. Mazda of Escondido has a whole lineup of brand new Mazdas, 2022s and 2023s. So if you're thinking about a brand new Mazda product, they'll give you more for your trade-in than ever before. They'll buy your used car outright, and you're going to get that brand new Mazda product today, and you're going to drive home later on that afternoon. So check them out, Mazda of Escondido, MazdaofEscondido.com. Let's talk a little bit about the Padres, who had a little bit of a surge here in the last couple of games. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Let's welcome back to Main Street Living tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Now, it might seem weird that we're having you on because it's not necessarily tax season right now, but what are some things that viewers can do to get ahead of next tax season?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. I think most people would prefer to just forget about taxes for the summer, but yeah, if you have some downtime, always a good opportunity to kind of get ahead for next season. So really what I'm preaching is, just become more knowledgeable about your taxes. Everyone come tax season can benefit from having a little more knowledge and just being a little bit less stressed about the whole process of getting their taxes filed and getting them paid. All this information is available online, but it's really a mess. So it just gets back to my first point, just start with your own taxes. And then if you need to dig in on one or two issues, it's just a Google search away.
Gotcha. Google search away. Now, let's just say someone is interested, like Danielle is interested in becoming more knowledgeable about her taxes. Like, how should someone like her get started?
Yeah. So Danielle, you're interested. You should start with, your last year's tax return. So I'd say get out your last year's return. Form 1040s, going to be the first page there. And really look and see what lines are populated. And then, make sure you understand those roles. So if you have dividend income and you see, what's a qualified dividend, go in and figure it out. Likewise, if you see anything that's missing. So, a lot of taxpayers now are paying a ton in student loan interest. And then they look at their tax return and they go like, whoa, that's limited to $2,500. That would be a role that you'd want to dig in and really figure out how it impacts your actual tax return. When in doubt, save for retirement. It's either, for most taxpayers, it's either going to save you money today, tax-wise, or it's going to help you reduce your tax burden in the future.
Awesome.
So important. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Main Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. Main Street Living covers what's important to you today, from our street to your street. Join Cheryl, Danielle, and Quincy for Main Street Living. Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. What's happening? It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Okay, so now we are starting to really get close to kickoff between the Rams and the Bills. This gentleman will be working the sidelines tonight on the radio broadcast on the Rams radio network. He is a former Rams Super Bowl champion defensive lineman. He's a national champion at the University of Washington. He's a state champion at his high school in Northern California. He's the former vice president of his Dungeons and Dragons club in high school. D'Marco Farr is back on Kaplan and Crew. D'Marco, thank you for being here.
What's up, man? I'm most proud of that VP of my D&D club. Come on now. That was a hard-fought battle. That was really tough.
Hey, guys, one day DeMarco and I were doing a broadcast up in L.A., and we were at this Hollywood Park casino, and I said, DeMarco, you were the president of your Dungeons and Dragons club in high school. And he goes, no, hold on. Vice president. Like, he corrected me when I overstated his status in the Dungeons and Dragons club. He stopped me and corrected me. No.
So
Vice president.
So let me ask DeMarco, since you're a Dungeons and Dragons guy, do you think that Stranger Things has done a service to Dungeons and Dragons culture, or have they whitewashed the whole thing, or what do you think about that?
You know what? I haven't watched a single episode of Stranger Things. I'm behind. I am. I got a 7-year-old, man. Come on, this stuff I can't watch in the house yet. I'll get to it though.
But DeMarco, I am 4 episodes into Stranger Things.
Since when?
Well, I watched.
Wait a minute. We're skipping over something important. At 7, what are they watching? Means what are you watching?
Good question.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, DeMarco, you got the 7-year-old.
Oh, anything child related, man. I mean, come on. Any kids movie, we're all over. We've been watching Fuller House. We've watched every single episode of Fuller House front to back. And that show, what's it called? Family Reunion on Netflix. Front to back, every single episode. All these TV shows. Come on, that's all we get to watch.
Have you got to Bunked yet, or are you not there yet?
We did watch Bunked all the way up until they switched cast. So you know what I'm talking about.
That's why I'm asking these specific questions.
Browners, I thought Stranger Things, at least the first season or two, I thought it was very child appropriate. I don't have kids, so I don't know.
See, my brother shows his kids Prey, the new Predator movie.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
That's one way to do it.
Come on. Yeah.
You can't be afraid of the dark if you are the darkness.
Wow.
Hey, look, all I can tell you guys is this. I started watching Stranger Things. I got 2 episodes in. Took me another couple of weeks to finally get to episode 3. Then it took me another couple of weeks to finally get to episode 4. And I haven't committed myself to it. DeMarco, because I was watching Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions, which I loved. I'm watching Legacy, which is the Lakers documentary.
Oh, yeah. See, again, they curse in that.
Yeah.
Immediately. They go to the curse words. I got to turn it off. I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
And I can't watch Hard Knocks with Dan Campbell. There's no way.
Dude, Dan Campbell is a professional wrestler / motivational speaker. Last night, which was the final episode, this is the one I saw last night, which is the final episode of the season. Yeah. Guess who showed up at Lions training camp? Did anybody see it?
Eminem. I saw that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what's super cool about Eminem? He introduces himself as Marshall.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I bet he gets that a lot, but I mean, my real name is Marshall, but call me Eminem. But yeah, man, I mean, I love Dan Campbell as a head coach. I love head coaches that get so worked up they forget what they were talking about on the team speech. You know what I mean? They finish everything with, all right, let's go kick ass. I love that.
Hey, D'Marco, before we talk Rams and Bills, since we started off talking kids and TV shows, I can see that behind you, there are some things hanging on the wall. And it just occurs to me that that's got to be something kid related. What's going on behind you?
Well, yeah, that right there is the entire year. That's my wife. So she is the planner of the bunch. So she has everything to the day. She's like Coach Vermeil. She really is. She's got everything planned out. And this is the stuff for the daughter. See, there's more. If I pan around, there's more on the wall. See, we got stuff everywhere.
Whoa.
So the learning never stops in the Farr house. Come on now. Everywhere we go.
I thought it was depth charts, dude.
I did too. I thought those were game plans.
I should have written depth charts.
Oh, I thought it was.
I'm so impressed with all the educational stuff that's hanging on the walls, because I've told these guys before. With my son, I had to stand over him like a cop to make sure he got his schoolwork done. With my 3 daughters, I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating, I've never even seen one of their report cards.
No way.
Never once.
Really? Trust him. Okay, well, my daughter is kind of like your son. I don't have to stand over her like a cop, but she makes me sit here right where I'm sitting to get her homework done. If I go anywhere else, look down at the phone, she stops. But if I look at her, she does everything.
How old is your daughter?
7 years old.
Okay, because I'm seeing like all the shapes and the colors and all the things that are behind you.
Everything, man.
Is she homeschooled or what?
No. This is she goes to elementary school, but it's one of those schools where they get a lot out of the parents, so they expect a lot out of us, just like they do the kids. But it's cool. That's great education.
That's cool. That's really cool. D'Marco Farr is here. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams as a defensive lineman. Now he is the radio sideline commentator during Rams games. So D'Marco, the 3 of us before you got here, we don't agree on tonight's game. I think the Rams are going to win the game. I'm shocked that they're a 2.5 point underdog. Can you just tell us, what is it like after you win a Super Bowl when you play your first game the following season and there's all the emotion of raising a banner, celebrating that Super Bowl? What was your experience like back when it happened for you?
Was it Dave Chappelle? He was talking about, this is when he went away and came back. He was talking about that time before he left. He said he would walk out on stage and get a standing ovation before he said word one. So it's kind of like that. So you're getting ready. You're going through training camp. It's hot. It's muggy. You saw what happened in Cincinnati. Temperatures flare. It's training camp. So you're getting ready to play a season, a long season, but then you're reminded that you already won. Or you go home and your ring's in the trophy case. So it's kind of weird, but you have to put one aside and get on with the other. So I can see why Buffalo might be 2.5 point, favored over the Rams because of who the Rams lost, who they're replacing with, and think about how Buffalo's season ended. Patrick Mahomes just ripped their heart out with like 13 seconds to go. So they've been stewing on that for a while, watching the Rams hoist trophies and whatnot. So I can see how that might give you an edge, and that Super Bowl hangover is legit. Now for us, my team, it was weird because our head coach retired, and we were introducing a new head coach as we were defending a championship. So this is different. This is more like, to me, like the Denver Broncos when they went back-to-back. Same group, same attitude, same energy, new mission. We won this one. That's in the ring. That's in the trophy case. Let's get on with this season now. That's what it's like here with Sean McVay.
All right. D'Marco Farr is here. He's a Super Bowl champion with the Rams. He's also on the sidelines of tonight's broadcast on the Rams radio network. So do you think the Rams are, and I'll put this on paper, are the Rams better going into the season than they were a year ago?
Wow. We're going to find out. I mean, look, I have to say no because you can't replace an Andrew Whitworth, not in one game. Joseph Noteboom is going to be a really good left tackle, a really good offensive lineman in this league. But we're talking about Andrew Whitworth. He's more than just a left tackle. He's a leader. You look, when I'm on the sideline at halftime or at the end of games, post games, say the Rams win by 2 scores. The team comes in, Sean McVay walks in, and they all wait until Andrew Whitworth walks in. Then the doors close, then they start. That is hard to replace. That is leadership. So are they better? I mean, they're good. They're talented. They still have Matthew Stafford. They still have Cooper Kupp. They have Allen Robinson. That's a great addition to this football team. Bobby Wagner's here. Oh, Aaron Donald's here and Jalen Ramsey. So they're a good football team, but they've got some holes. They've got some guys that need to show and prove before we can say they're ready for primetime.
What's their biggest hole?
Outside linebacker. The reason they had to go get Von Miller last year is the same problem they're going to have this year. Who is that other guy outside of Floyd? Who is the guy that can stand up at right outside linebacker and get to the passer? Justin Hollins will get the first crack at it. As far as depth, we don't know. So I think that might be their biggest hole. But that's offset because you have number 99 in the middle, Mr. Win at will. So he's good deodorant. I like to say he covers up a lot of stink, but at some point you're going to need that other outside
looks like we got a frozen D'Marco.
Yeah.
You just cut out for like 10 seconds. Like, when you're on your cell phone with somebody and all of a sudden you lose them, we lost you for like 10 seconds.
Oh, where'd you lose me? I'm sorry.
Alex, where'd we lose D'Marco?
I think we lost Scott because I heard you perfectly that
Aaron,
lost,
brother.
Aaron Donald.
It was me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow. We lost Scott.
It was me.
We had D'Marco the entire time on the show.
Yeah. You missed him talking about the depth of the line and the linebackers,
Yes.
and he called Aaron Donald the deodorant because he covers up a lot of stink.
There you go.
Gotcha. You missed.
Gotcha. Hey, by the way, that was a great line.
We always knew that Aaron Donald was coming back. We always knew Sean
did?
McVay was going to. Yeah,
I didn't.
Of course. You weren't going to walk away from all that money. Stop it.
Hey, man,
Stop
look. This guy was on a tear. He's done everything, and he just won a ring. If he wanted to walk away, I wasn't going to stop him.
He's going to tear up at the bank. He toe up on the field.
Well,
now
he's
gonna
already
tear up in
rich.
the bank.
He's already rich. He already has a lot of money. They've paid him a lot. I mean, like I said, he's done just about everything, and getting that ring could have been the crescendo. I'll say this, to your point, if Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't get hurt in that Super Bowl, he's probably your MVP, right?
Yep.
And then your entire offseason is different because you would have to pay that guy, which means Aaron might stay retired. You might not have enough money to pay him to come back.
That's true. And you add in what Sean McVay was putting the team through, saying he wasn't, I don't know. Then he got this huge offer to go to television, which, again, that guy's a football coach. Do you think any of that had any effect on them and how they prepared for the season?
Well, what did Amazon offer him? $20 million?
A lot more than the coaching did.
Yeah, that's going to get your attention. And look, there have been several coaches that have gone to TV and come back. Some have gone to TV and stayed there. That seat got a little comfortable. So, Sean McVay is dynamic. He's a great football coach, and this is what he's about. But you know how it is, man. That pull from TV land and that money, that cush job, just for saying a bunch of buzzwords and having a good time, man, that could be enticing. But getting him back and making him comfortable enough to stay, I think, was job number one of this organization. And I'm so glad they got that done.
Yeah, and earlier today, the announcement that McVay, whose contract was done, and he talked about it a little bit in training camp, but now Les Snead, the general manager. So the two of those guys are kind of considered tied at the hip, and they're both now signed through the 2026 season. So you go into tonight's game, D'Marco, with your coach and your general manager signed, your defensive superstar back, an addition of Bobby Wagner, the addition of Allen Robinson, all the talk of Matthew Stafford's elbow kind of, I guess it's still out there a little bit, but the emotion tonight of being at home in the stadium where you won the Super Bowl, this is why I think the Rams are going to win. I think every ounce of emotion is on their side. And you talked about the anger of the Bills and the way their season ended, but week one, cross country, middle of the week. For me, everything points to the Rams, and tomorrow I may look and sound really stupid, but for now, I think the Rams win this game tonight. What do you say?
Well, Cap, make no mistake, this game will go back and forth, and this will come down to the last possession. Both of these teams are good. That's why they're on Thursday night. That's why they're opening up the season. They're really good. They're Super Bowl contenders. Both quarterbacks are excellent. They're great. That's the reason the teams are so good, and both head coaches are super competitive and excellent in their own right. So this will come down to the wire. So it sounds cliche, but the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win this one. I believe firmly that the Rams have to win the turnover battle to win this game. They have to because Josh Allen is that good. We saw him up close in Buffalo. They got out to a big lead. The Rams came storming back. They sent everything they could after this guy to get him on the ground. Should have had 15 sacks. He got out of just about all of them. So this will come down to whoever has the ball last and whoever takes care of the ball the best in the football game. So I think the rosters and the football teams are evenly matched. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I expect Buffalo to come out of the AFC this year. I really do. Coming off that bad beat and the way they've improved themselves this year, and we'll see with how they play tonight. But yeah, I picked them coming out of the AFC, no doubt.
Scott just said something that I guess I will just use you as the marker for this, and I will never bring this up to anyone else again.
Go ahead.
He said that they have to travel cross country.
Oh, yeah.
With modern day travel, with the luxuries that these guys have, is that still a thing?
You know what? It can be. It depends on what time you're kicking off. It's a night game. It's a little bit different. So you have a chance to acclimate. But, some of those, west to east games and you got the early window. Yeah, that stinks. It really does. Okay. It really does. But, yeah, I mean, coming this way, you prepared for it. This is the first game of the year. You've gone through a month of training camp. You can't wait to get on the plane to play. So maybe in late November, it would be a problem. But the first game of the year, no issue.
All right, so D'Marco Farr is here, a Super Bowl champion, Rams defensive lineman, and now the color commentator on the sidelines of the Rams radio
that TV
broadcast.
money.
Yeah.
Ching, ching.
D'Marco, give me your thought on this, because when you played for the Rams, before the Rams moved from Anaheim to St. Louis, you were with the Rams in Anaheim, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we were having this conversation yesterday on the LA show. I would think that tonight, given that the Rams won the Super Bowl in their home stadium and they get to kick off the season in that same stadium, I would think that this should be an overwhelming Rams crowd. Yet, so many people tell me I'm out of my mind that the Bills fans travel so well. I'm somewhat familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
But that they expect this crowd tonight to be more of a 50-50 kind of crowd. Now, if you tell me the Chargers are playing the Bills, I'll buy that. If you tell me that the Raider fans are going to overtake SoFi when the Raiders are playing the Chargers, I'll buy that. But when the Rams just won the Super Bowl, is this really going to be a crowd where you're like on television tonight? Are they going to be going, wow, we're super impressed with how many Bills fans there are here? Like when you watch every Charger game, they're like, well, the Chargers don't have a home field advantage because the Raider fans just took over. What do you think is going to happen tonight between the fan bases?
To be honest, I don't know. And I remember that week 18 versus the 49ers when it was, there was a lot of red in that stadium. It was overwhelming and we had to talk about it. There were so many 49er fans there. So we don't know. But winning a Super Bowl in Los Angeles, it plants the seed. My 7-year-old, her friends, people of that era, and going into middle school, high school, some of these kids don't know anything except the Rams being great. They don't know anything except the Sean McVay era Rams. So they're growing up as Rams fans. So eventually that stadium will be full. But you know how LA is, man. I heard you guys talking about the Padres. The Padres beat the Dodgers. We'll talk about that. Well, yeah, there's a lot of Dodger fans. There's a lot of Laker fans. There's a lot of people that just aren't on board with the Rams just yet. But I'm telling you that Super Bowl is going to help kick them in the right direction. So we'll see what happens tonight. I know the Bills Mafia travels. I know a lot of people in Los Angeles, regardless if their season ticket holders are in business, which means if they can sell those tickets for more than they bought them, they will. So we'll find out. But the Rams fan base is growing steadily. It is. It'll take a while for people to forget the Raiders. It'll take a while for people to, I guess, pick between the Chargers and the Rams. But eventually, if you keep winning, you're going to fill up your stadium.
What about Ozzy Osbourne fans buying tickets?
Dude, I'm there. Come on. Come on.
I mean, we're talking about LA. Love a
He's
good
gotta
concert.
Play Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
He's got to play No More Tears. I want them all. Come on.
I mean, we got Bills Mafia, Rams House, and Aussie fans. Like, this is gonna be a really cool crowd tonight, man.
I told JB Long, our play-by-play guy, don't ask me for any halftime adjustments because I will be on the field watching Ozzy.
So you're excited about seeing Ozzy?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, it's like the Stones. You better go and get it while you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I feel like the Stones are still like really relevant, and I feel like Ozzy just crawled out from whatever rock he lives underneath, like to go, I'm going to play halftime and I'm going to release a new album. How'd that happen?
Well, in that genre, Ozzy is like the Prince of Darkness. He's the guy. So, there are people that are still showing up. But the Stones have crossed over. That's a different deal. But to that niche audience, Ozzy's the guy.
Hey, D'Marco, since we started off with you being the vice president of the Dungeons and Dragons Club in high school, are you watching House of the Dragon?
Man, okay, you guys are outing me big time. I haven't watched a single episode of Game of Thrones ever.
Oh man.
Really?
Do you know why? I'll tell you why. I take that back. I watched the first episode, and I'm a big fan of Sean Bean, the actor. So the first episode, he gets beheaded. Like, come on. I just got into this thing.
Welcome to
are
Game
you
of
guys
Thrones,
on
man.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay, and then once it caught on and everybody's talking about it, I'll just wait until you guys are done and I'll binge watch because I don't want to jump in and miss something.
Well, now would be a good time to start binge watching, other than the fact that the NFL season is kicking off.
No doubt. Yeah, I got other stuff to do.
This is going to be a great game tonight.
Yeah,
D'Marco, have a great broadcast. It's awesome to have you on game day. I know we've kind of taken up a bunch of your time, but man, I'm telling you, between the Super Bowl champions, the favorites to win the Super Bowl, this Ozzy Osbourne halftime performance, the question about what the crowd will look like, this is the best matchup to start off the season. Can't wait for this game tonight.
Absolutely. Going to be fun. Like I said, comes down to the last possession. May the best team win on game day. Can't wait.
Yeah. And like I agree with you, the other part of it too. Whoever wins the turnover battle, that's who wins this football game. Pretty simple.
Easy.
Pretty simple
Football
stuff.
ain't that hard, man.
Yeah. Well, Marty Schottenheimer used to tell me all the time when he was coaching the Chargers, 80% of the time, if you win the turnover battle, you win the game. It's pretty simple. Protect the ball.
I thought you were going to go 60% of the time. It works 100% of the time.
That works too.
Yeah. Hey, D'Marco, it's great to be with you. Everybody stick around. We got a lot more we still want to get to this afternoon. And we're kind of honing in now on kickoff between the Bills and the Rams at SoFi Stadium. D'Marco will be on the radio broadcast. You'll hear him later on. We're coming right back. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch the San Diego Loyal host the Phoenix Rising FC Saturday, September 17th at 7 p.m. Come join us at Torero Stadium and support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Tickets are available. San Diego Loyal versus the Phoenix Rising FC Saturday, September 17th on Your View.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates.
The Padres are looking to make a big push in September to remain in the playoff picture. On Wednesday, the Friars got a 6-3 win against the Diamondbacks behind a strong performance from Yu Darvish on the mound. Darvish went 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 of which were home runs. Jurickson Profar, Jake Cronenworth, and Will Myers all hit homers for the Padres in the win. The way the wild card looks Thursday evening, the Padres are sitting in that 3rd spot in the NL with Atlanta and Philly just ahead. Milwaukee threatens just 4 games back. San Diego next takes on the Dodgers this weekend.
That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090, not going to see it on our YouTube channel, not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it, from what I understand and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmem, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.